Welcome back, everybody. JumpX podcast episode number 69. We thought last time was 69, but this is actually episode 69. So we've done two 69s. That's all right.
Bro, I've been waiting to get to 69. Like, damn, it's taken a long time.
Well, we're here.
This might be my favorite episode, and it might be the most theatrical.
Yeah, we've got something pretty horny to talk about because you love this kind of stuff that you're about to talk about. So, you know, things could happen.
Yeah, so basically today we're going to be talking about, well, how important are plyometrics in your jump training,
Mm-hmm.
right? And guess our experiences with them and the effects of them. Now, personally, I have a lot to say about this, not gonna lie. I'm getting out of focus. Need to stop moving. But yeah, I have a lot to say about this.
Okay.
We're speaking off camera about this a little bit, but I guess to kick this off, like for myself personally, I jump my best by far consistently, and this has been a very consistent thing. And I'm a 2 foot jumper. Very consistently when my plyometric contacts are their highest or higher,
Yes.
right? In the form of ones that are more ankle dominant, in the forms of the ones that are like a little bit of both and pretty much everything, to be honest. Like, like for myself, to be honest, what I noticed the biggest difference with is plyometrics that for myself personally, plyometrics that involve the knee and the hip way more, as well as the ankle. So things like hopping, things like bounding, things like leaps, things
Mhm.
like lateral bounds, repeat broad jumps or double leg bounds, whatever you want to call them. Like things
Yeah.
like that for myself, like I don't know what it is, but I just get adaptations. Well, to be honest, I know what it is. I get adaptations from those things that I just don't get through 2 foot approach jumping. It seems like from what I've experienced. Um,
Yeah.
it's something, it's to do with the stretch shortening cycle, just the repetitive nature, of
Mm.
just obviously hitting the ground, redirecting that force and going up again. Um, I guess my active muscle stiffness improves quite a lot. So I find I can bring more speed into my approach and I get off the ground quicker.
Yeah.
Therefore, I actually jump higher and my jumps feel way more effortless, like far more effortless.
Yeah. It's like when you compare when you're in a strength cycle versus a plyometric dominant, speed dominant cycle, even the way you jump is so different. It's crazy. Like just visually.
Yeah, I spend longer on the ground than you by far. Haven't measured it, but you can just tell.
I wouldn't say you spend a long time though. There's probably people who spend longer though. I'd say you're on the middle to upper end, right? No, not even.
Yeah,
I'd say you're just middle, like for 2 foot. Like you're not slow.
yeah, yeah.
But I think that's why your strength, like just doing strength work, doesn't apply to you because, like you said, you're more naturally slow. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah, my genetics are fucking shit, for lack of a better term, in terms of speed and rate of force development is shit. So if I don't have enough of that in my training, like I jump shit because my vert just goes to shit because I'm just producing force too slowly. So that's where when I do strength work like too much and too high over volumes and bias it too much, I jump shit. One, I don't know, I find it fatigues me more. But
yeah,
two, I just get slow.
yeah.
And also a factor of fatigue is your RFD going down as well. But because they kind
Oh
of go
yeah,
hand in hand, I guess.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So like everything goes to shit. But I'm speaking about myself personally, but we train many people in the same situation. where
Yeah.
the genetics are no offense shit. They're slow. So they need to bias the same things I do. Like I've tested this on my brother who has essentially maybe worse genetics than me. Maybe. It's question.
We'll
I
never
don't.
hard to know, yeah.
It's hard to know. And it's the exact same thing. When his plyo volume went up, biased more of that end, the faster end of the force velocity curve, vert went up, started hitting way more dunks more consistently, jumped way better.
Yeah. Bro, I even like if you talk about, you know, my cousin Nick who used to dunk with us. So he's my cousin. So he's not like as closely related as you and your brother. But when we trained together, he would do what I did. And a lot of the time it was like very strength dominant because that's what worked for me. And I can't even remember, I don't think we did any plyos like at all. Not even one plyo, you know, unless you count sprinting. Like we did sprinting here and there. But we literally just strength trained and jumped. And his vert went up over 12 inches in under a year. Like it was cooked. And no, and this is of 1 foot as well. This isn't 2 foot. This is 1 foot.
See, um, and you would say his genetics were above average?
His genetics are way better than mine. And then his brother, William, are even better than his. He was 15 and dunked off the dribble 10 foot without training.
Hmm.
So like insane genetics. And then their dad also was like very gifted as well.
Hmm.
So it's very interesting how strength just like directly translates for them.
Well, yeah, it's because they're RFD and they're just like they just possess more fast twitch fibers
Mm.
naturally.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So strength will translate far more than for someone like myself that's just slow twitch as fuck.
Well, yeah, you would have been jumping higher when you did like your bodybuilding training, if that was the case. Like when you know, did all your bodybuilding stuff, if you were like fast twitch dominant, your vert would have been higher to start with than it did.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, so this is where like when people say, "Oh, you don't need plyometrics," I just think that's just BS. Just to be straight up,
Mm.
I think that's BS. Just from my own personal experience, like for athletes that have above average genetics, like
Hack.
yeah, the more you can get away with not doing that sort of stuff, right? Or you could get away forever almost for not doing that sort of stuff. But would they be better, like even incorporating plyometrics? Yeah, they would. You know?
Yeah. No, the only reason I wouldn't give someone plyometrics, like if we're talking about like a you or a Hayden, then obviously earlier in their training career, you need to incorporate plyometrics or, you know, you're not going to see any return. But in cases like myself, hack, I guess, um, there is a case for like delaying it almost. Because, you know, I mean, as you would know, but the audience might not know, when you see a training stimulus, right? The first time you see that, whatever it is, it's the most potent. So the first time you squat is going to be the most potent and going to give you the most return than 3 years down the line when you're squatting. So same thing applies to plyometrics. So the first time you use them, you want to make sure you use them at the right time. So by delaying it for someone who doesn't necessarily need them straight away because they got away with it, like myself, I feel like they'll benefit me more further down the line. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But there's definitely a fine line with it. You don't want to do nothing, but you don't want to do it all. You don't want to like tick every plyometric off, and then you get to 45 inch vert where you could have just done that, you know, without doing that, because then you can use those when you hit 45.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're already ticking that box by jumping twice a week.
Mm.
But for myself, that's like it's not enough. Like even just jumping twice a week, doing 100 max ever jumps a week, like that's just not enough for me. But for you, it is.
Plus sprints as well for you, right? You're sprinting 3 times a week, 2 times a week,
Nah, I cut it down.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I cut that down. But um yeah,
Sprinting for
it's just very interesting because your strength, like for someone that has better genetics, they possess more fast twitch fibers,
Mhm.
um, they get off the ground quicker, all that sort of stuff. Like the strength transfers because they're producing that force within the time frame they need to jump higher. So it's what like
Yep, yep, yep.
250 to 350 or even sometimes 450 milliseconds. Maybe 450 is too long.
Is
Um,
it for me or for most people?
just 2 foot jumping in general.
Oh, yeah, like 250 to 400, 450. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so like 250 to 400 milliseconds, but 1 foot jumping is even quicker than that. Like obviously speed jumping and power jumping is a little bit different there. Um, so
Yeah.
for people that are naturally faster, the strength just translates better because it's actually translating within the time frame. That force is being translated within the time frame it's needed to actually see a performance increase in terms of how high you're jumping. But for me,
Hmm.
it naturally produces force too slowly. That doesn't happen because it's just too slow. So I'm producing all this force, so I get my squat to say 4 plates, but it's just happening too slowly. So it's not actually like translating within that time frame, that time frame you're on the ground in terms of a 2 foot
Yeah.
approach. So that's where my training needs to bias more speed stuff than that actually translates better and that force is being produced within that time frame to actually ensure
Mhm.
my vert goes up and the strength training is actually working versus just building up a reserve or force that's doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. You want to take it another level, you can even say the quicker the activity, the less your strength will translate than someone else's strength. So if you're talking about 1 foot jumping, you getting stronger is not going to help because it's even quicker. I
Yeah.
mean, it might help, but it's not going to translate as much as it would to 2 foot. But then if we talk about for like off vert jumps without a run up, strength training will translate more for you on that. And then, sprinting probably would do fuck all for you.
Yeah, but this is part of why some people can jump higher than other people even though they're weaker
Hmm.
because they're producing more force within the time frame that's needed to jump higher. Even though
Math.
you produce more of a force, it's done more slowly, so it doesn't translate as good. So you might have more of a reserve than them, but they're using more of their reserve still than you within the time frame that they have, even though their reserve is lower.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I
It's
hope
simple
that makes sense.
math and physics. Like
Hey?
it's simple maths and physics.
Yeah. So, and that's why this is where training needs to be like quite heavily personalized because everyone's genetics are so different. And this is where the periodization is different for every athlete. And this is things I constantly think about when we train our athletes.
Mhm.
Um, like we have some guys that are like super slow, man. And their training looks completely different to some other guys. It's insane how different the training looks for some people just
Yeah.
because the deficits.
Bro, imagine giving like Brad one of my cycles.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think he would touch the ring after it,
It's
bro.
a fast it's a speed run to becoming a powerlifter for him
Honestly,
and
honestly.
jumping like shit. So
Yeah, I don't think he'd be a happy man after that.
you may as well just program low bar squats and uh scheduling powerlifting meets for him at that point.
Yeah, no shit, bro. Cut out the dunk
Yeah.
sessions. Cut out the
Hey,
sprints. Cut out the dunk sessions.
weekly powerlifting meets instead of dunk
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Weekly max outs.
Yeah.
3 times a week, we're gonna max you out.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, this is crazy. It's just crazy the variability in human beings. But
That's how you get results, isn't it?
hey,
That's how you get results.
yeah, pretty much. That's how you get results. And then you have people that are in the middle ground as well.
Yeah.
So they
I'm
kind
thinking
of need both.
I reckon like Gavin's in the middle ground. Like
Yeah,
Gavin, I'd say he's middle.
yeah, definitely. There's like it's almost like a spectrum.
Mm.
So
We're
yeah,
on the bro. Let's go.
yeah. But yeah, it's quite interesting. This sort of stuff, and just the realizations, just the shower thoughts, So because
Yeah.
quite a lot of
Remember?
people, quite a lot of people aren't aware of this sort of thing, and they just keep, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep getting stronger. I'm just gonna get my squat to 4 plates, and then I'm gonna be jumping 45 inches. And they're like squatting like 3 plates right now and jumping 29. You know,
I think
versus there's guys that are jump the same height, the same weight, everything, squatting 3 plates, jumping 40.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. You better pull yourself like looking at just numbers to equal vert because there's no magic number. Like it'd be cool if there was. It's like, oh yeah, if you squat 2 times your body weight, you will have this vert. But that would only be the case if we were all like we were all clones
yeah.
and we all grew up the exact same and did the exact same thing every day, which is not the case. So if you actually want results, you got to think a bit harder, a bit deeper, look deeper.
This is also like part of like where for myself, like I notice I detrain quite quickly as
Okay.
well, versus from what I've seen, guys with like better genetics,
Mm-hmm.
they detrain more slowly as well.
That is interesting. Okay.
I've just observed that
In terms of
because their strength might come down, but because of the reserve they have, or if they
okay,
even have one,
yeah.
yeah,
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Definitely a case for that. Also
because
age as well. Age is a big one for that. Like the younger you are, you can take like 2 months off. Yeah, maybe your vert goes down, but you get back up so much quicker. So if you're like 19, it's calm.
yeah, but also if you've like got to a certain point before you get there quicker than you,
Yep. Yep.
anyways, like
Yep.
you retrain quicker.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%, bro. Like if Eddie Lou came back into jump training, I think he could get back to doing a tomahawk within 3 months if he locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's pretty insane how quickly people bounce back. Like
So
doesn't
like,
take
okay, what do you notice when you incorporate more plyometrics and plyometric contacts, I guess, into your training? What happens to your jumping?
definitely no, it definitely gets better. Like if I ease off strength work, do more plyometrics, or not do more plyometrics, but do more like speed work, just my approach looks different. Like the amount of speed I bring in. Um but yeah, I definitely don't take as big of a hit week to week from doing strength training than you would. Because if you did a pure strength block, okay, let's just say you're at a 40 right now. I honestly think you would drop to like 32 within a month. That's not even an exaggeration. I actually think you'd be jumping 32 inches if you did no pliers, no sprints, just did
But even
strength.
just jumping twice a week,
But it's talking about for me or for you?
like for me, like even if I was jumping twice a week but not doing anything
Yeah,
else,
it would not, bro. It
training
would.
strength
I don't
stuff,
think it would matter. I don't think it would matter.
yeah, I would agree with that. I would losing 8 inches in a month. It sounds like drastic, but like yeah, I would agree that would happen
Yeah.
because one, because of fatigue building up, but two, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
even
think
for
I.
you, like your genetics, I would say they're not bad. They're like not really good,
Mm,
but maybe like average or slightly above, would you say?
yeah, slightly above.
So,
In terms when we say good genetics, it's relative. Like I have bad genetics for distance running, but I guess I have good genetics for explosive stuff.
see, I have good genetics for distance running.
Yeah, like when your brother was telling me his times, bro, I was like, Bro, you don't even train for distance. Why are you running these times?
Yeah, like he runs like a 10.5 in a beep test without training.
Yeah, like, well,
And
that's
I'd probably
crazy.
be able to do the same. Maybe not like maybe not get a 10.5, but I'll test higher
You're
than
doing,
I
you're doing
should
better.
with no training.
Yeah,
Way higher than I should with no training. So
bro. I can just like say you get put into a beep test tomorrow. Your muscles be like, yeah, this is more like it, bro. This is what we like. This is what we do.
we're at home, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. And then next day you wake up, you're all type one.
Bro, maybe I'm gonna become a hybrid athlete.
Yeah, man.
Leave JumpX,
Just become a marathon runner, bro.
do the whole hybrid athlete trend on social media.
Yeah. Like
Like bodybuilding and fucking
bodybuilding, distance running,
conditioning work at the same time.
bro, all of it. I reckon if you had an event that you were most genetically made for, it would be the 1500 meter because you're tall, so you can't be a 400 meter runner. You're not fast enough for 400. 800 is kind of like still in that same situation, but 15 I reckon would be good for you because you got those long strides.
Maybe.
But
Yeah,
fuck that,
maybe. Maybe. Fuck that.
dunk is bro.
Yeah. I reckon for you the 200. I reckon you would be good at 200.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I've never
Straight
tested my
up.
two.
You'd be like Noah Lyles.
He's 100 as well though.
Oh, he wasn't for a long time.
Or was he 200 first?
Yeah.
That's sick, yeah.
I've been watching, I started watching that sprint sort of thing on Netflix. So that's what they were talking about on there. Yeah.
He's he's crazy, bro. But you know what is also crazy? If he ran in the 2012 Olympics, I don't think he would have medaled.
Yeah.
That era of sprinting was crazy from like '06 to like 2014. It's cooked.
Like, because of Usain Bolt.
Usain, Asaf Powell, Blake, Gap.
What was the second best time when Usain Bolt got the world record?
I think it was Johan and someone else. There's like the second fastest times in history are tied. It's 9:69.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like people don't understand how quick that is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
like, oh
can't
yeah,
imagine seeing that in person.
yeah. And people, yeah, man, I'm only like 1 second behind Usain Bolt, but bro, 1 second is stupid.
1 second is huge. 1 second is a lot. Like when you visually see 1 second.
That's what I mean. If you
Oh.
see it on the track, you look like you got smoked, bro.
Yeah, because even in like motor racing, like 1 second is like a huge difference.
Yeah.
But you think of like two cars drag racing, like 1 second is like quite a big gap,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, like if you look at F1 qualifying times, they're all like, so it's like a minute 15. They'll all be like minute 15, but something like milliseconds between them.
Yeah. No, that's insane. It
You
is
know,
what it's insane.
yeah, good point to leave it there for sure.
No, 100%. So if you guys are looking to jump higher, you can click the link in our Instagram bio or below actually this video on YouTube. If you're on
Yes, you can.
YouTube, and you can apply for our coaching there. But without further ado, we'll catch you guys in the next JumpX podcast.
Peace out, guys.